It's time for health tips. Now here's your host, Dr. Alma Jenkins.
Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. Here we are again. I am so excited to be here tonight. You know, every show is exciting for me because I know that you don't have to tune in. You could have been looking at any station, but you chose to watch us, and I'm so grateful for that. I want to just reemphasize the fact that Health Tips is willing to come to your house, not your house, your organization, your church, your group, and talk to your group about a health topic. We're hoping to do further development to the show, so keep watching. I'm not going to say, I don't want to make promises. I want you to just one day tune in and say, you know, that's different. So please let us know if you want us to come to your group. Let us know if you have a tweak for any of our recipes. We look forward to hearing from you. And tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do another breakfast dish, but this time we're going to do hash browns. How many of you have pulled up to McDonald's or somewhere and said, let me have an order of hash browns? And you know, it's usually just potatoes that have been sort of fried, you know, with a soft center. But I like the hash browns that have a little more to it, you know, some onions, some bell peppers, you know, and we're even going to put some fake sausage in there, and we're going to see how this turns out, okay? So I wanted to show you something. This is a half of a potato that I cut up, and I wanted to show you how I did it, okay? So first what I did is I turned the potato with the flat side down, and let me see if I want to make sure you see this. And I just start cutting real thin pieces. You know, now you may have that fancy little instrument that'll do this, but a lot of us don't. So I just start cutting like this with a sharp knife. You have to have a kind of sharp knife for this to work as nicely as you want to, and some patience, you know. I just keep cutting. I try to, you know, you try to keep these little pieces at a minimum that pop up like that. But I just keep cutting. Every now and then you'll have one that won't, you know, that's like anything else. Even groups that you have, you know, there's always one that don't want to cooperate. So, okay. Now then I turn it and I start cutting this way. And you may have to do it, this is messy. It wasn't quite as messy the way I did it without you watching me. But, you know, you can go ahead, and sometimes it'll mess up on you. If it does, no problem. Just go ahead and cut through that. Go ahead and cut some more, okay? And pretty much, look, same thing. You've got great potatoes. So you take those potatoes, I'm just going to do these, okay? And I'm going to take some of the mixture that I had before. I've got some onions and I've got some peppers. Mix that up. And if you don't have quite enough peppers, you know, I cut a little bit up to add to it, because I like my peppers. I do the same thing with this. I cut it and then I go back and cut it some more. Watch your fingers. Some of you may have a larger knife that you use. I just happen to have this particular knife. Okay, I'll cut that up and add that to the mix. I like to be able to know that each little bite that I get, I'm going to get some pepper in it. So, you know, this is all personal taste. You know, there's no rule to it. Just depends on how much you want. You want to mix that up really nicely. Okay. And there are onions in there. A little bit more pepper. Because you want to make sure that okay. I'm going to put some garlic powder in it. Pepper. Some salt. A little bit, not, you know, I didn't put as much as you might think. And I'm using that same cookbook that that you saw me use before. And it calls for some paprika, but because we don't have a lot of paprika, I'm going to shake that on after it's in the on the aisle here. Okay, so I'm going to turn the aisle on, and I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. Okay, and also going to put some, can't believe it's not butter, in there. Okay. All right. And I'm looking at my little directions. Okay. Let that get kind of hot. All right, you see that starting to melt there. How many of you have done hash browns? This will be my first bit with hash browns, so I'm kind of looking as I do it. And we want to get it brown and crispy over it, you know, there. Okay. It's starting to sizzle. Now I'm going to put my paprika. Paprika. And that is all of my paprika. That is it. And we're going to let that cook there. How about that? And while that's doing that, we're going to do what we do well. Now, some of you will say, well, gee, how are we going to make sure that we get a pan, instead of pressing it down and letting it be a patty cake type thing? It's not going to be that. I'm going to stir it up, okay? And if you want it to be in a patty cake configuration, you don't stir it. You press a plate up against it, and then, you know, you're trying to make a patty cake out of it. But that's not really what we're doing. So that's not really what we're doing. So we're just making a hash brown. And I decided at the last minute that I was gonna just let this, cook and not try to make a hash brown patty out of it. And potatoes can take a little minute to cook like they should, okay? It can take a little minute. Now to hasten that, what I sometimes recommend is add a little water and let that start to sizzle some. And turn it on medium. And I'm going to invite you to do some exercising with me. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Now, it sounds bad when you're sniffling when you're cooking. I hate that too, but sometimes the pepper just stimulates that nose and you just get, you have to do it. Now, if it gets too bad, just stop cooking, go blow your nose, wash your hands, and come back in. All right? And 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10, 11, and 12, 13, and 14, 15, and 16, 17, this feels good, 18, 19, and 20, 2, 3, 4. Let's check on it and see what's going on with it. I'm going to spread it out so it'll cook, get more evenly exposed to the heat. But I'm also going to taste it a little bit to see what I need to put in it to make it the way that you need it to be. It's good. Now, believe it or not, it could stand a little more seasoning because I didn't put much salt in it in spite of what you might have thought. I really didn't. I shake very lightly. And because I want it to get, I'm going to add just a little water to it only because I want the steaming to cook it some more. Okay. So I'm going to let that just cook a little more before I turn it on high again. So I've got it on medium now, which is pretty low for my oven, and it just will make the potatoes get softer. 1, 2, ready, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4. Swing those arms. 5, and 6, 7, and 8, and 9, and 10, 2, 3, 4. Now, see how I'm doing just simple things. And I know you guys say, well, why does she keep doing that? Well, do it with me. Now let's bend our back and let our arms fall forward in front of us, okay? Ooh, that feels good. When you bend your back, go down and try not to bend your knees. Let your legs lock in the straight position, and you'll be able to tell a difference. You'll feel it in the back of your thighs as well. Now, you're not going to be able to see my legs, but I'm going to go down and come up, and I'm going to hold my legs locked and go as far down as I can. And you know what? That felt good to my back. It felt really good to my back. And I want you to try that. Those of you who can, just take these cans, put them in your hand, go straight down towards the floor. See how far you can go towards touching the floor? And lock your knees. Don't bend your knees. Let them stay straight. You will feel it in the back of your thigh, in the back of your leg, and in your back. Your back will feel more rested because it takes the tension off your back. So it's a really good feeling, okay? All right. Now, let's just go from side to side. One. Let's go as far as we can this way. Let's go as far as we can this way. And guess what? There's one other thing I want to add to this that, let me put my little speaker back. Microphone. I'm sorry, little microphone. I didn't add to it at first, but I want to now because this was already about done. I'm adding some sausages. These are not real sausage. This is fake sausage. Okay, I'm cutting it up in here in little pieces because I don't eat real sausage. And this calls for bacon. And what I did is I heated this fake sausage up in the microwave and got it soft because it was frozen. And so now I'm wanting to crumble it up in here. Okay. Now you can crumble up fake bacon or you can crumble up real bacon in here, okay? Either one. But I've got sausages in here too. Okay, and of course, as I said, it's not real sausage. Now I'm gonna let that simmer a little bit more and then I'm gonna turn it up high and sort of saute it down. It's really nice that way. Let's do some more cans and then we're gonna turn this up already and we're gonna do some cans until it starts sizzling and then I'm gonna sprinkle it around. 1, 2, 3, and 1 and 2. Lift those legs up as high as you can. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I hear it starting to sizzle now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it as flat against the pan as I can, especially the sausage part, so it can get nice. And by the way, that was Boca sausage. I like the Boca sausages because they taste more to me like real sausage. Taste more like real sausage than some of the other sausages that, you know, are fake sausage, but you know, you can tell, just doesn't taste right. Okay. So I'm actually going to get the hash browns brown. I got them up against the pan, so that bottom is going to get brown shortly. Okay. And while that's doing that, I'm going to stretch a little bit. Stretch around, and stretch, 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 and stretch. While that's doing that, okay. Now what you can do is you can take a spatula, I'm going to turn this back to high and let it go to town. I'm going to press it down. And you know, I'm not a chef. There are probably easier ways of doing this. This is just a way that works. You can try to taste it a little bit as we go and see how it's doing. I'll taste that in a minute. Sometimes you have to add a little bit of oil to it, a little bit more to kind of, you know, help it out some. I like them brown. Now, for those of you, many of you don't, I like the crispy part that's in here. I love all of it. Now, look at that. That looks, you know, I'm gonna try some of it now. Let it cool off. Okay. This is if you want to try something different for breakfast. And remember our asparagus. Some of the same ingredients in it. And if you want, you could have a piece of toast right there. You know, you can easily put a toast piece there. You know, when I do toast, what I like with toast is I like a piece of bread that is on both sides buttered. Okay. And I slap it in the toaster. I have some pecans. Okay, because you want your food to look good. Okay. We've only got a minute left. Wow. That's amazing. Well, that toast won't be in there long. Ladies and gentlemen, what I have is, and I'm going to taste it now. Let me taste it. That's good. It really is good. Let me try some from here. I will. That fake sausage is good too, I have to tell you. That is delicious. I am not kidding you. That's my version of hash browns, and you've got some of the same things. So if you happen to have all this left over, you can make a leftover breakfast whatever with this and a piece of toast. Thank you for watching. Good night. This toast didn't quite get brown because we're out of time. If you're on a real serious diet, I suggest you cut a piece in half and have a piece of toast there with that. All right. Do we have time to have some milk? I think not. Okay. That's all the almond milk we've got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Good night. Lovely dish.